a lot of news to discuss here on the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nick Roloff. Today's rundown, we got to talk about Kasparas Jakucionis because he left yesterday's preseason game with an injury. Kel'el Ware dominated again. We'll take a look at what he did and what Coach Erik Spoelstra had to say. Plus, we may have a lead on who is going to get that final two-way contract. And I close out today's show by telling you why I'm done with Kasparas Johnson. But we'll start with the injury news on Kasparas Jakucionis because he did leave yesterday's preseason game against the Magic after just 4 minutes of action with right hip soreness. If you remember, he got hurt in training camp and missed a couple preseason games and time with a wrist sprain on his left hand. So it's unrelated to that injury, which is good that you don't have that same injury to his hand reoccurring. But it also kind of makes us have to think here, two separate injuries. Is this something that could linger into the season and or be a player that has dealt with injuries in the past that could deal with a lot of injuries in his NBA career? We get to him and more here in a second, but here is our October sub battle that we told you about at the beginning of the month with Celtics Today. No joke, we are trailing by just 5 subscribers. If you want daily Miami Heat content and live watch parties when the season officially begins on October 22nd, join the channel. Let's take down Celtics Today. Well, here is Coach Erik Spoelstra on the Kasparas Jakucionis injury. He said he's not sure. We'll find out soon. He just goes so hard that things can happen, but it's too early to tell right now. So I will say this, based off how Jakucionis spoke, by how Erik Spoelstra spoke, and it just being labeled as right hip soreness, I do tend to believe the injury onto the hip is more on the lesser side than the, oh, this is really serious side, which is good. But like I mentioned a second ago, you don't want to see a young 19-year-old player before this NBA career really begins dealing with two separate injuries, because you have to ask the question, is this something we're going to have to deal with his entire career? I think I'm just taking a little bit too big of a step there, but just putting it on the radar of Heat fans. Jakucionis on his injury said that we talked about it and decided it's better to not make it worse, so I stepped out and did not return. I like that. Yes, you would like to see him get reps and you'd like to see him develop chemistry and get more of a feel for the NBA game, but this is a player you want to have developed this year. You don't want to risk further injury. It's certainly not ideal whatsoever, and it's a little bit concerning in my opinion, but I am not going to overreact so much to where we jump the shark a little bit here. So hopefully he ultimately returns soon and is back on the court maybe by this weekend's preseason game in the red, white, and pink scrimmage. We also got off night back. Davion Mitchell returned to the court for the first time. Remember, he had calf soreness, which limited him. This is his preseason debut. He played 10 minutes against the Magic and didn't really play much with most of the key starters not playing. No Powell, no Bam, no Wiggins. Jovic has that back injury he's dealing with. Hopefully we'll be back soon. Not too much concern there. So Davion only played 10 minutes, 2 points, 2 assists. Good to see him back on the court, though. The projected starting point guard for the Miami Heat this season with Tyler Herro sidelined with an injury. Always good to see Davion on the court working that defensive magic. Welcome, Davion, back to Miami. Spam his jersey number down in the comment section. 4-5 is what he wears. We finally got a D-Mitch wearing 45 in Miami. It's not the one we probably hoped it to be. All right, let's get to Kel'el Ware because he balled out one again, and he has been the best player statistically in the NBA preseason for Miami without a question. Another double-double, 3 straight for Kel'el, and second game in a row where he had 20-point plus. 24 and 10 is where he finished last night. Didn't have a block, but did have a couple steals. Shot above 50% from the field and shot 50% from 3 again. And maybe that is the largest takeaway I have from Ware. One, I think we're seeing a more engaged and I guess more attention to detail Kel'el Ware, but the 3-point shot has been maybe the most compelling thing to where it's like, okay, this is a player shooting very well from beyond the arc here. I like his response a lot when it comes to Erik Spoelstra challenging him and him responding, because I mentioned it. I've been hard on Kel'el Ware. Erik Spoelstra's been hard on Kel'el Ware. It's because we see the talent that Ware has at his disposal. It's just all about him putting his best foot forward and being a guy who is consistently showing up on both ends of the floor. He even had a moment in last night's game where he gets a defensive rebound and just casually doesn't even look like he's trying, throws it away, turns it over. It's like those moments still happen, not to my liking, and I hope that this ultimately changes and we don't see it a lot. But he has been dominating the preseason like we've wanted him to. Like, these are the type of numbers that you were hoping to see Kel'el Ware put up at Summer League this season. But you didn't see that, and it was cause for concern. So good to see Kel'el Ware dominate in the preseason to this point, averaging a 20-point double-double, shooting 50% from three, on 4 attempts a game, by the way, and 52.5% in total. Kel'el Ware's look great. And honestly, the part that's also been the most intriguing, he can put the ball on the deck a little bit, man. We saw him catch the ball on the perimeter, isolate on Jonathan Isaac, get an and one. We've seen him pump fake a couple drives to the rim and finish. Like, Kel'el Ware's put the ball on the deck a little bit in the preseason, and that part has been really encouraging to watch as well. And Erik Spoelstra's encouraged by it. Like, after the game, he said, everybody has so much attention on him and what I'm going to say about him. He's getting better. You can see the talent. Spoelstra sees it. I see it. You all see it. It's just, can he have it all put together up here? That's what it is. Because it's all mental with him. There is no denying the talent. There's no denying when he gives you 100%, he is a dominating force. But let's continue to build on it. Not take anything for granted. Continue to put his best foot forward. Because if he does that, he can raise the ceiling of not only the Heat this season, but the future of this franchise as well. More coming here in a second, but this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I play Prize Picks every single day. Well, and make decisions every day. The right decisions on Prize Picks can get you paid where it's good to be right. How you play is up to you. You want flexibility? Choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. And you can pick what players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. I have an entry for Monday Night Football, 2 different games in football. More than Bijan Robinson rush attempts. Less than Keon Coleman receiving yards. More than Caleb Williams interceptions. And more than on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt touchdowns. I think he reaches the end zone. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let's take a look at the two-way contract now. We know Miami has one more spot available. The two-way contracts that he currently have is for Vlad Golden, who, by the way, has been DNP'd in the preseason pretty much the entire time. Don't know if there should be a story there, but just letting y'all know. And then Myron Gardner are the two-way guys. But there's one spot available. And the 4 players that are vying for that two-way contract are Jahmir Young, Ethan Thompson, Dain Dainja, and Gabe Madsen. Now, you might be wondering, where's Trevor Keels? They actually waived him and brought Gabe Madsen back on an Exhibit 10 just late last week. So when you look at these 4, there is one that, to me, is separating himself from the pack. Ethan Thompson had a good first game, played a ton of minutes, but the last couple of games, Jahmir Young has been the best player on the Exhibit 10 contract for Miami this preseason. And he balled out last night, playing 32 minutes, 18 points, 6 of 11 shooting, 2 threes. Thompson struggled. And it's really been a struggle for the former Oregon State guard ever since his first preseason game. Even Gabe Madsen struggled. He is a three-point specialist, and he struggled there. I don't think Dain Dainja is really worth keeping, I should say, in my opinion. And other than the stats being the best, you just watch the way they move on the basketball court. Jahmir Young has impressed me the most. He's a fluid ball handler. He's a scorer. That comes very natural to him. We saw it in Summer League when he scored 40 points for the Chicago Bulls Summer League squad. And he was a really solid scorer back in college as well as in the G League last season as well. Jahmir Young has impressed me a lot. And with the Heat guard rotation being banged up, Herro, Rozier, who has not returned to action, Jakucionis, Davion Mitchell just returning. I think it might be smart for Miami to continue to kind of load up on guards to potentially play if they need to. So having another guard on a two-way deal makes a ton of sense, and I think that could be and should be Jahmir Young if I had to make a decision right now. So let me know, who do you think should be the final two-way player for the Miami Heat? Honestly, they could ultimately just waive or move Vlad Golden to an Exhibit 10 and move him off a two-way and keep two guys. But if they're only going to keep one, I think it should be Jahmir Young. Time to close with Kasparas Johnson because, my goodness, I just don't see it, man. And I've never seen it, to be honest. I think he was fun last year in Summer League. And I was like, okay, this is a fun guy. Let's keep him around on a two-way contract. Former Arizona Wildcat, former San Diego Aztec. All right, let's get Kasparas and see what he can do in the developmental system for a year. I just don't see it, man. Like, through the preseason, he's appeared in 4 games, playing 25 minutes a night, and he just hasn't been good. Like, he just hasn't. And the part that he needed to improve on the most was his three-point shooting because he's so athletic, he's so physical, to where it's like, all right, let's get this dude on the court because he can defend, he can be an athlete in transition, but he is such a zero on the offensive side of the floor. It actually is detrimental because teams do not respect him offensively at all. Like, not one bit in the slightest. So, like, you really can't play him. And I said it when it happened this offseason. Miami had a choice to make. Do we keep him on a two-way? Do we give him a standard contract? Do we give him a non-guaranteed? They gave Kasparas Johnson a 1-year standard contract fully guaranteed. Him having a contract like that is a joke. It is. He is a two-way guy, and that is not an issue. I would love to have Kasparas Johnson in the organization again on a two-way contract, seeing if he could develop more in the G League for Miami. But you are wasting a roster spot. You are wasting cap space, albeit just $1.5–2 million on Kasparas Johnson. You are. I'm sorry. You watch him on the court, and you can just tell this is not a guy that you can play legit NBA minutes and trust in a rotation. Down the line, with more development, maybe. Right now, in a year 2, absolutely not, which is why he should not have a standard contract. I saw a lot of people on Twitter last night talk about this, and it just feels good for people to finally realize that I've been saying this for a long time. Which is why you subscribe, by the way. Not only do we bring you daily content, and we'll be live for Heat basketball games this year, but I like to consider myself a ball knower. I think I have a keen eye for the game, man. I've just never seen it with Kasparas Johnson. If you want more on the Miami Heat, subscribe today.